After a volunteer shift in the summer, we had a solarizing layer of like plastic that we put over the garden beds, and we were ripping them up, and we brought it out back and used a hose and soap to turn it into a slip and slide. And so everyone who was on shift was just running and jumping on the slip and slide. That was super fun. Just in like the middle of a hot Florida summer day.
I can't answer that question. If you want to answer that question, you're gonna need to hit me up individually and I will give you a multiple hour long response, because every time I left the Arboretum, I left with a smile on my face, and it was almost always the best part of my day.
I was working in the office on just random stuff, and there were a couple other people in the office, and all of a sudden everybody started going outside, and I was like, oh, like what's going on? And it was really, really nice out. I remember it being like a beautiful day outside, and I walked out and everybody was like doing yoga. Or they started like, they're like, yeah, we're gonna do yoga. We need to de-stress, we're gonna do yoga. And I thought that was really fun. It was just like a big group of us, you know, doing our stretches, and it was great.
I remember in preparation for the Spooktacular a couple years back, I was commissioned by Kelsey to build a hut for students to basically hide in and then jump out and scare people. And so I spent the day just like gathering scrap wood from the dump and screwing a bunch of pallets together just to be able to build this little kind of hideaway hut. And then we loaded it onto the trailer on the back of the Gator and drove it into the trail and set it up, and it worked really well, and it was just that was a great day.
In the madness of honey harvest last year or a couple years ago, we were harvesting our honey, and we used a smoker to make sure that the bees are calm. So when we were finished with the smoker and we got all of our honey, and of course we always leave some for the bees. When we got all of our honey and we took it back to the trailer, we were in such a rush that Dr. Bolin and I were just moving, trying to get all of our honey bottled and processed. And without thinking, we had kind of just tossed the smoker in the closet of the trailer, which was our very little building, of course. And we're sitting, chilling, you know, working through the honey process, and suddenly Kelsey comes running through the trailer. And she's like, it smells like smoke. It smells like smoke. And immediately Dr. Bolin is out of there, and I'm taking the heat. And so I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry we left the smoker on, and there's literally burning embers inside the trailer of pine, luckily.
It's gotta be during the summer, it gets really, really hot, and one time we used solarizing cloth, which is basically just this clear plastic, and we used it to make a slip and slide. And that was a good day. Always remember that.
I had bread in the refrigerator, and someone ate it, and I left a note anonymously, and people thought it was somebody else, and it was this grand mystery, and the entire time I just stayed quiet. And I don't know if anybody knows I wrote the note, but somebody did take my bread.